My name is Jim Vicarious. I'm a lawyer and I specialize in personal injury. And what I want to go through with you today is give you a few tips on insurance coverage. And question is, are you really covered with the insurance you have? Here's a few quick tips that you can find out in 5 minutes whether you're covered. So the first thing you want to do to see what you're covered for and if you're covered under your insurance coverage, let's say for your automobiles, is look at your policy itself. Every insurance company, when you get insurance, sends you a copy of the policy. That policy has a first page. The first page is called a declarations page, deck page for short. So you look at that deck page. The first thing you want to see is your name. You want to make sure your name's on it, your spouse, or anybody else in your family that's driving a car. All those names need to be on that policy. If the names are on there, all right, you got the first step of coverage. You know you're covered. All right, what do you need to look after that? You want to look and make sure the actual cars you own are on that coverage. Can't tell you how many times somebody tells me, hey, look, my car's covered. They bought a new car. They forgot to call their insurance company and switch the car out. You need to have your car listed and the actual VIN number. That's interesting too. People sometimes transpose those VIN numbers. So you need to make sure you look at your deck page, compare that VIN number to the actual VIN number you have on your car. It's important because if you have a car wreck and you think you have coverage, you may not have coverage according to your insurance company if your name's not on the policy, or your child who's driving a car is their name's not on the policy, or their car is not on the policy. So make sure all that's on there. Oftentimes, none of um, the making the information accurate actually doesn't cost you anything because you're already paying for the coverage to cover everybody in those cars on your policy. Just make sure it's right. Can't count the number of people that tell me, hey, Jim, I've got full coverage. I have full coverage on my car. When I ask them, what does that mean? They're really not sure. And if you think you have full coverage, you actually don't, because there is no such thing as full coverage. Really, what coverage is you can buy as much as you can afford. So you look at what you want and you price that premium out. But you can have unlimited coverage if you're able to pay for it. Most people don't. But don't let anybody fool you if they say you have full coverage. You really don't. You only have the coverage that your declaration sheet says you have. Here's a tip on coverage, especially for business owners. So there's a lot of people out there who own their own businesses. They have personal coverage and they also have coverage for their insurance coverage for their business. Oftentimes, their businesses have at least one car, sometimes many. Here is the biggest mistake I see very sophisticated, very intelligent business owners make all the time. They'll have a name of their business. They'll have a company name. The company name will be the named insured on the declaration sheet. Okay, that's all fine and good. But what if the owner is driving the company vehicle and gets into a car wreck and causes somebody injury? Is the owner covered? Sometimes not, because many owners forget to add their name as an additional insured on their business owner policy. That's very, very important because, after all, as the business owner, really at the end of the day, you're the one that's buying the business insurance. And missing that little part, that little detail of adding your name as an additional insured creates a big gap on your insurance coverage. But doesn't cost you anything more. All you need to do is call your insurance agent and say, hey, add me as an additional insured, as an individual on my business policy. Simple as that. Doesn't cost you any more money. All right. I hope these few quick tips helped you make sure that you have as much coverage as you need and make sure the coverage you have is effective. And everything I told you today doesn't cost you any more money either. It's just making sure you have an accurate declaration sheet that's going to help you in that. Thanks a lot. Be safe out there on the road. Again, Jim Vicarious, Florida personal injury lawyer. Bye bye.